Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Don's Lawns. Now, if you've seen my most recent video, I scalped my Bermuda down to a 1/4 inch or less, bare dirt in some spots, just as low as my reel mower would go, and I allowed it to recover. It's been about a week since that scalp and fertilizer occurred. The grass has been filling in, and I'm getting wild, and I decided to do a mild top dressing with sand. I'm gonna fill in some of these low areas with sand and some of the areas that drain very poorly. So ideally, if you're gonna do this, you wanna scalp it as low as you can and then do the sand top dressing and then let it recover through there. So I'm gonna get away with this because of that. It's not fully recovered yet. It's still thin, so I can get that sand broken down into the canopy and it's gonna work just fine. Now there's a couple things I'm gonna do first though. I watered this morning, and then I left, I went and picked up the sand. Now that I'm back, I'm going to do some core aerating of those low spots and those slow draining spots. I'm gonna remove those cores, and then those areas are gonna get the sand first to try to fill in those holes that I just poked with the core aerator. I'll be using my Yard Butler core aerator. It's a manual aerator. You can find them online. You can also find similar ones at your Lowe's or Home Depot sometimes. And I'm going to use that to penetrate the soil and create those core holes that I can fill with sand. And you may be wondering, why are we core aerating and removing the cores? And that's because I'm trying to replace some of that space with sand, which is more feasible for drainage in a sense. So I'm replacing some of the clay and dirt with sand, so it'll drain better. And then obviously it's going to help level it out some too, as we sand level or top dress and begin to water it in and get everything smoothed out. They told me it's about half a cubic yard of sand. It's mason sand. There's always debates on what types of sand to use. Well, my research and everything else and what everyone suggests is masonry sand, because it's a fine sand, it's not coarse, it doesn't have any pebbles or rocks in it, and it helps to basically fill in these spaces and voids in the ground a lot better than, say, play sand. These are the tools that I'll be using today. You may also see me use my drag mat. Depends on how all of these work, but the first one I'll be using is just your regular garden variety rake. I'll be using this to knock the piles down and spread them out slightly, usually in this type of fashion with the flat side down. And then after I kind of knock the piles down, I will come around and use my homemade lawn leveling tool. If you're interested in watching that video, I have it linked down below in the description. So I'll use that. And then lastly, I may use this brush or the drag mat, or maybe both, depending on how smooth and how much sand I need to get worked down into the canopy. Let's get to work, let's get this done, and let's enjoy the day. Hey, we're done. That's it, right? No, that's not it. Now that we spread the sand and we flattened it out and used our leveling tool and our drag mat and everything else to really work the sand down, now we've got to either fertilize if you need it, which I recommend whenever you're sand leveling to go ahead and fertilize, or start your irrigation plan. So since I fertilized about 7 days ago, I don't really need to fertilize today. I'm probably going to fertilize in the next couple of days though, so I'm going to keep an eye on that. The grass is very strong and actively growing right now, so I don't really need to fertilize today. But that means I do need to start watering this in, get the sand worked down into the grass with water, as well as, like I said, the drag mat and the lawn leveling tool. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. As always, hit that like button, tap subscribe down below. Catch me on Instagram at DonsLawns1 and Twitter at DonsLawns1. See you guys in the next one. Best of luck in the lawn.